Next, it's on to bass and guitars. What I'm going to do is go for quite a low-end, heavy guitar sound, quite scooped in the low mids, whereas the bass sound is going to have comparatively less energy in the lows, more of a focus on the low mids around sort of 250 to 400 hertz. So this capitalizes on the opening provided by the low mids scooped guitars. I've made sure that this Fender Precision bass is restrung and correctly intonated, and I've initially focused on the clean DI, which is the foundation of any great bass sound. I'm using an approach called multi-amp cab recording, and I'm using this smart technology line splitter. The low end of the bass sound is provided by a solid state Ampeg, and I'm using printed compression to this signal from the WA76. The low mids upwards are getting provided by this valve Fender Bassman, to which I'm applying printed compression from the WA2A. This multi-amp cab recording approach allows me to compress these sounds in different ways, and it gives me a lot more control over how the bass sound is developed. I'm not using playlists here, I'm just dropping in for the relevant sections. Moving on to guitars. As you can see, we've got lots of different amps and cabs to experiment with. And as we are quad tracking the guitars, that's 4 separate performances, I've spent a long time looking at how the different sounds combine. By varying the sounds between the takes, this helps provide a thicker, more three-dimensional sound. I'm using 2 different guitars, a Gibson Explorer and Gibson Les Paul, and I've decided that I'm going to use a Mark III 5150 amp alongside the Mark I 5150. And I found that the cabs loaded with the Celestion Vintage 30 speakers sound preferable. As for the mic selection and placement, I've got a 57 on axis, roughly half on, half off the dust cap, with a Phaserline 421 slightly off axis. And as with the bass, I'm just dropping in for the relevant sections.